Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. Um, I know, right? Hold on, let me open up my Steam. I had a few ideas. Um, that why the like, oh, suddenly my internet just decided to just like that. Oh, I'm too broke. Alright. Anyway, you've all um you've all heard about this game. Um and I got to thinking about this earlier. And I ended up really needing to make a video about this because it was just like, it is just driving me nuts. Like, it's driving me so much nuts that my ADHD is, making me rock back and forth. I mean, it's just crazy. Okay, this is it. DLC ideas. Um, about this game. Um, you know, it's still in, I've been told it's been really, really good. And I've been watching a bunch of, YouTube videos about, people playing it. And it's just brilliant. Anyway, the ideas. A first DLC idea. A healthcare system, not like you have a like a clinic. Um, and the if one of your like a town medi, or so if a citizen gets hurt, they're hurt or sick, and you can even have a plague system that if for well, yeah, a plague system where, like, if like a if your town is infected by a plague, by the plague or something like that, um morale is dropped. I'm gonna say it, like, to, like, by like half. It's gonna be hard, but morale is dropped by half on everything. Um, a sim speed, such as, how fast your people travel. If they're infected, if they're sick or hurt, their travel speed is slower, and obviously they could die. So to prevent, complete town wiping from, like, a plague, like, there's like if they're infected by the plague, like, at least, like, put a 10% chance they die from the plague or sick. And then, so, the ones, so during battles, when instead of just dying, they could become injured. Which would slow them, down. So if you don't have like a medic there to help, like heal them. Oh, my internet did just shit the bed. See? So yeah, if they can't be healed, then their movement speed is dropped and their max health is, I'm gonna say, to where like they could die. So that's what that's the end of that DLC. You could have like a unit running around grabbing, injured people, or have an injury system to where the soldiers, if they're dropped, there's like a certain chance to where, instead of just straight dying, they could be brought to like a carried back into town at the clinic to where, or have a tent up to where they could be brought back and released at like 50% health. And then, natural regen from the health like that. So, that's with that idea. And then the second DLC idea is a ransom idea to where the power. I'm back with that. So a ransom the next DLC is like how dealing with like ransoms and stuff. Let's just say if you engage in a battle with a bandit group, not wiping out the camp itself, but like having a skirmish with the thing. So it falls back on the other DLC, but the idea is instead of them dying, instead of you killing all of them, the ones that get dropped, the chances of them surviving, with the medic system, they could be brought back to, they could be taken prisoner and ransomed off back to the banditry, the bandit group, for extra, materials or money. And then it's gonna work well with the big factions, like the big NPC lords. You're gonna make a lot more against them with the soldiers, with a bunch of them being taken, and sold back for ransom. It would work well with the diplomacy system. So, yes, that's the end of that idea. You could mash that and the first DLC into one DLC. And the third idea for the third DLC is adding gunpowder to the game. So yes, it would work with their siege system. Having barrels filled with black powder getting chunked out of like basic tier, what you would have like barrels getting launched at, buildings and stuff like that for siege works. And then second tier would be like with the production of handheld like pole, like the cannon on the stick thing would be like the second tier. And you could then go from there to muskets. And then with that, you could add another new building. Uh, Call it like the alchemy system. You know, an alchemist place. They would make the gunpowder, and then another building would be like the gun foundry, to where you could make like wheeled cannons, so you could you could go into siege works instead of catapults. You could use cannons on like that. So, and the alchemy system, you could end up making like medicines to help, with like that could go to the clinic area and, you know, help with like the plague, sickness, or people getting injured, like bandages and like all this crazy stuff. So, yes, that's the end of this idea slash DLC idea slash rant. So, yeah. See you guys next time. Hope you guys thought this was interesting. You know, if you have any other ideas about, the game, because I want to play it, I just can't afford it. So, yeah. I don't even think this computer could run it, because this is a DDR3 system. So, yeah. So anyway, if you guys have any other ideas, post them in the comments about like what would be interesting that could be added to the game. And hopefully if anybody ever sees this video, they could be like, some of that might work, and add it. Or eventually someone could make a mod. I don't know, like interesting things. So, yep. Well, I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And see you guys some other time.